Okay, y'all, I am going to update you on Terry. And I know the trolls think I'm a terrible person. I've abandoned him. I've abandoned Mariah. Well, I'm going to set the record straight, and then I'm not going to, excuse me, y'all, I'm not going to do it again. I will refer people to this video. Now, Ronnie, his daughter and I, his stepdaughter and I, have stayed in close touch for quite a while now, since we began to see some, changes in him, his physical self, his mental self, and his emotional self. Now, the number one thing I want to clarify, I never promised Terry that I was going to take Mariah and keep her if something happened to him and he couldn't do it. Okay, a couple of y'all a while back when we talked about this even said, you should just tell him that so he will feel comforted. Well, I did think about that. But I always try to think about, how would that make me feel? Would I want to know the truth, or would I want somebody to lie to me? I want to know the truth. And I would not lie to my friend Terry. So I told him, Terry, you know that I would look for a home for Mariah just as thoroughly and well as I would if it were my little Hazel. And he knows that. And he trusts me to do that. We don't know yet what Terry's situation is. His daughter will be speaking to his doctors, and they will let her know. Can he go home with a real caregiver, or is he not able to do that? Now, he has one of those emergency buttons, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. He's had it for a long time. He never wears it. I can't help that. I am not responsible for Terry's actions. I'm not. And do I get irritated with him? Oh my word, of course I do. Have you never gotten irritated with a family member or a friend? Terry is family to me. Y'all know that I have very little blood family left. And Terry and I have been family to each other for quite a while now. And oh yes, he can aggravate me, but I would never desert him. I feel like it. There are times, truly, and I've told him, Terry, if you don't stop and let me truly help you through this huge problem, then I give up. I give up. I'm not doing it anymore. We've had that conversation several times. But anyway, we are waiting to hear what is going to happen. Now, the last I heard, his mental state is not really good. And yes, they are having to lightly sedate him and keep him in a wheelchair by the nurse's station. Now, they had to do the same thing with Mary Jo's mom. Now, she had Alzheimer's. You can't tell somebody with Alzheimer's, you have to stay in your chair, sweetie, or you'll fall and hurt yourself. She loves my tissue box. She absolutely gets into a fight with it. But even with somebody who is lightly sedated and confused, you cannot tell them. You can't get out of bed. Your hip's broken. Not Terry's, but Marge's was, and her shoulder. You can't tell them, stay in your chair because you're going to fall and hurt yourself. You cannot reason and get through to some people, and so many of y'all, and I feel for you so much, have had to take care of family members, a mom, a dad, a spouse. It's hard. I was a caregiver for several years, and I took classes on Alzheimer's and dementia and read up on it, and it is so hard. So that's Terry's situation right now. His daughter will do whatever she can to help him. And I will do whatever I can. Now, I don't know the truth, y'all, whether Mariah got to go and see Terry. I'm not going to speak to that because I don't know. But Ronnie stays in touch with me. And if Terry is not able to come home, I'm definitely going to take Mariah. In fact, I'm going to get her very soon. She's used to not being around Terry now, and she does know my home, and she will be comfortable here. She loves the yard, and she knows how to go in and out of the screen door. Now, I'll have to be really careful with Miss Lily if she's here. But, y'all, I would never desert Terry, and I would not desert little Mariah. Now, I can't help it that I don't have a big connection to her, and some of y'all don't get that, and that is on you. I cannot tell you, I can't explain it. Some of you just want to be hateful to me because of it, so just give it your best shot. I don't care. She will go to a good home if that's what she needs. It would be better for her to go to a loving family that will dote on her than to stay with a person that would take excellent care of her but not feel that absolute love for her. It's not right. It wouldn't be right for her. It wouldn't be right for either one of us. So that's kind of it, y'all, and that's where we stand. I haven't gone to see Terry. He's, like I said, sedated. His daughter said when she saw him and tried to talk to him, he was confused. It wouldn't do any good, and when I called, of course, they wouldn't give me any information. I was tempted to lie and say I was his younger daughter, but you know, that's not a good thing. But I'll let y'all know. I will let you know what happens, what's going on, and I have already assured his daughter that no matter what happens, I will be there for Terry and Mariah and for her. It's a lot, y'all, and some of y'all know it when you have to try to make decisions for a parent or any loved one. It is so hard. And I saw Mary Jo go through that with her mom, and oh my goodness. Some of the places we looked at, just awful. And even the best ones do not have enough staff to pay constant individual attention. It's sad but true. So I will let you know. I can't wait to hear what's going to go on. I promised Terry that, you know, if anything happened to him, he wanted to donate all his worldly possessions to Bread of Life. But Bread of Life stopped dealing with furniture. It was just too much. And it took a lot of storage room, which they didn't have. So there's a little thrift store that's right across the street from him, and it's called Second Chance Animals. And so what they take in, they use for the Second Chance Animal Rescue Group, which is a wonderful thing. And so I'll handle that if Ronnie wants me to. And of course, you know, getting his apartment cleaned out and that kind of thing that will have to be done. Now I'm hoping that Terry might be able to come home and have a caregiver that will allow him to have Mariah at home. There would be a caregiver there to see that when he got up out of a chair, she wouldn't be under his feet. So y'all just pray for Terry and little Mariah too. But I'm gonna leave you with this thought. So many of y'all said, Lily loves you. I hope you keep her. You're mean to throw her away into another home. I believe this with all my heart. God made little animals with the ability to love and be comfortable in numerous homes with numerous people that love them and care for them and provide for them. Despite, and yes, there is a little adjustment period, but for most animals, especially ones that have been loved before or have been socialized by somebody like me who has loved them, the adjustment period is very short. Now, y'all know that I got Miss Hazel from a high kill shelter, and she was very abused in her past life, which was evident from all the you know, issues that she had. It was a 2.5 hour drive from that shelter to my home in Escondido. And by the time we got there, she was bonded to me. I held her in my arms. She could feel my heartbeat, and she could feel the love that I had for her. God created little animals like that. And I believe that. With all of my heart. Because he knew the cruelty that some of them would face. And he wanted to create them so that they could survive and know love even after being abused. So y'all think about that. If you've ever taken in feral kittens or stray dog that's been beaten and abused, you run across that when you live in the country. Mean, mean old men that abuse their animals. Or people who abused animals because they wandered onto their property and they were hungry. But these little creatures can respond and love many different people. It is not mean or cruel to socialize and show love to a little animal and then find them a very good and loving home. And yes, you miss them so much. I can remember the animals that I rescued. I remember Panda. She was a black and white spotted poodle terrier mix that somebody called me. I was at work and they called me and they said, Deb, I have a friend and she's having to give up her little dog and it's going to go to the pound. Well, back then, y'all, lots and lots and lots of shelters were kill shelters. So she called me because she knew what a big heart I had. Now, I did not have a pet at the time. I worked a lot of hours. And so I said, I just can't, sweetie. I just can't. And she said, okay. People knew how to work me, y'all. And so I sat there and I sat there and I couldn't even work and I kept thinking about that poor dog. So of course I called her back. And after work, the girl brought the little dog to me. She was about 6 months old and she was a pretty, ooh, Lil, you okay? Oh, she's talking to me. So, you know, I had Panda for probably 3 months, and y'all, I was not a spring chicken. And this was a medium-sized puppy, not little like Miss Hazel. I mean, she was a big one. And she would drag me down the street and drag me back up the street. And I would play fetch with her, and the kids would play fetch with her, and she never wore out. I was so happy to find her a home with a couple that had a farm and other dogs, and they had their yard. They had a huge yard, and it was fenced in with chain link. So she got a good home, y'all, with people that loved her and doggy friends to play with. Sometimes that is just the kindest thing that you can do. I was able to tell them everything about Panda. Everything. And they were so glad to know it. So anyway, y'all, I love you. I know this has been a terrible dry period, and I'm hoping, as always, that things are going to be better. Now, I don't let Lily use my appendages as a toy. I don't believe in that. It teaches them to be mean. It teaches them to attack anybody that tries to pet them. I think it's wrong. Now, Jerry does that with Toby. He's got big old scratches. I would never, never do that. But he's Toby's daddy. So what can I say? Anyway, y'all, I love you, and thanks for hanging in with me. And here's Miss Lily. I don't know. Can y'all hear her? She's just purring away. She's purring away. But anyway, y'all, you know, despite our sorrows and our pain and our suffering, we are blessed, and I am blessed. And it just takes us a while to, you know, kind of recover from stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. My kitchen is horrible, and I'm gonna show you what Jerry came dragging in yesterday. That man, I'm gonna tell you. So I will talk to y'all later, and hopefully I'll show you a couple of things that I've done in the yard. Not very much, but a little. And I will talk to y'all later. Do something fun today. Lily is definitely fun, and she'll be sitting up in a chair while I'm doing all those dishes. Oh my gosh. And please be safe. Please be safe. I never in my wildest dreams thought that our country would be filled with so many irresponsible people. I never in my wildest dreams ever thought that we would have a president that put out such a horrible example. Never. I never did. But anyway, y'all, that is out of our control. All we can do is vote. Bye, y'all.